Coming up next on the Jeff Crilley Show, beauty is all around us, but sometimes it takes a special eye and a professional photographer to help us appreciate it. You'll meet the great Chris Baylor next.
Many are predicting that the worst is yet to come, which is unfortunate, said one person here. Until now, they've enjoyed the reputation of being the nation's icebox.
Watched a burglar in his home this morning by webcam.
As a journalist of over 25 years, stories are what make my world turn.
Reporting live from the Dallas newsroom tonight, Jeff Crilley, Fox 4 News.
But in 2008, I took the jump from my familiar life and started a PR firm from my home.
We're talking about anyone with a camcorder like the one I'm using becomes a television network.
We started slowly growing the company, and we now have over 100 clients, and we've branched into the world of live digital broadcasting. I now own 8 different TV studios and have a huge team, and the stories that I now get to share are sometimes the most important of my life. Life has a funny way of coming around full circle. This is the Jeff Crilley Show.
Well, these days, all of us have cameras on our cell phone, but that doesn't make us a professional photographer. And sometimes you absolutely need to bring in the expert when it really matters. And that's why we have Chris Baylor in the studio. He's a commercial portrait and sports photographer. Thanks for coming on the show.
Thank you very much. A pleasure to be here.
So let's talk about this little device, because now truly everybody has a camera all the time.
Absolutely.
But you know, everything from composition to lighting. Talk about why you would want to bring in a pro.
A professional brings out those very aspects themselves. It's all about composition and lighting. Everything else can be handled. But if you don't nail your composition and you do not nail your lighting, you will not have a successful image, period.
All right, take us back to the very beginning. When did you know you had an eye for photography?
Oh, it was probably in my junior year in high school. And I had just stopped playing sports and decided that I needed to be as far away as possible from sports. I took a photojournalism class. My teacher at the time, Peggy Morton, was kind of rough on me. A brand new guy coming in.
Yeah.
And so I took a lot of lessons to heart right out of the gate. And to this day, she is proud of every bit of progress that I've made.
Wow. Well, I want to make sure the audience appreciates the art that Chris has created. So we're going to scroll down one page of your website, and this is the sports portraits. As we slowly scroll down this, what are some things that we should be looking at?
The lighting, the styling, the dramatics, everything is all focused in on the athlete themselves. And that's the essence of any good portrait, any good image. It's about the subject, not the person creating the image. From my standpoint, I'm just the person who pushes the button, sets it all up, but they're the star, not me.
Right. There are a lot of people out there who say, well, these days with all the filters and the color correction, you don't even have to be a good photographer anymore. We'll just have AI fix it.
Absolutely. And my answer to that is, I'll see you when you get back. It's just that simple. There's nothing that replaces a professional, someone that does this for a living, someone that intends to do these things. That's what it's all about. That's why you hire a professional.
Absolutely. And my favorite work that you do is with high school seniors. Let's go ahead and put this page up. And as we scroll down, one of the things that caught my eye is you really capture their personality, don't you?
Yes, I do. And that's one of the things that makes me unique to this particular market, is that I go out of my way to connect with my seniors. So therefore, when they're in front of my camera, they're not tense, they're not tight. They are completely who they are, and that's what we go to capture. The look in their eyes, you can't fake that.
Right.
There's a comfort, there's a certain truth there that your sitter only gives you when they're truly invested in what you're doing, A, and
Right.
B, they trust you.
Do you find sometimes clients will say, "Oh, I'm looking for this," but your gut tells you, "No, no, no, no. You don't need that scowl on your face. We need that smile. It's electric."
Absolutely. And what I do is I send them a questionnaire. So I get to know the child. I get to know that young adult, who they were, and then who they are. Our session pathway could probably last their entire senior year. I'll photograph them the first time, and then towards the end, when they get their cap and gown, when they come in to do their signature senior headshot, they're a different person. They emote differently. They project differently, and that's the essence of who they are. And by the time we get to the senior signature headshot that I've kind of created on my own, they are literally comfortable in their own skin. And that's what my goal is as a photographer. I want them to be who they are, authentic and true to exactly just that themselves. They're coming into a new phase of their lives. They're going away to college. Their shot, their headshot, their senior signature headshot goes with them. I send them a copy with that, but I inscribe a note to them because I know when they get to college and they're feeling like, I miss this, I miss home, I don't really want to be here, I don't think I can do it. There's a personal note from me to them that is just that, it's personal, and that gets them through it.
That's cool. Are you ever able to witness them seeing their picture for the first time?
Absolutely. I insist on hand delivering all of my senior stuff.
Wow.
I don't want to see just the parents' reaction. I kind of know what that is, being the parent of high school seniors. I get it. I know.
Yeah.
I get the biggest kick out of watching them see themselves as I see them.
What's one of the best reactions you've ever gotten from a high school senior? Any tears?
I get some tears, but the funniest one was a slightly profane-laced "oh" comment, and Mom died. She was mortified. It was funny, but Mom didn't think it was so funny. I thought it was hilarious.
All right, so full disclosure, I asked Chris, if we go to your home, what pictures are we going to see on the wall? And he says, I've got 4 of my family. We don't have them now. We're going to drop them in. So I'm going to be asking Chris to describe from his memory what we're looking at. Let's start with the picture of your wife.
My wife, my beautiful wife, we went and had a beach vacation, and I bought sun hats, beach hats for the girls. And so my wife put hers on, and we were talking, having a little conversation. The kids were in the water, and I said, "Stop, don't move, hang on." That was the setup. I coached her just a little bit. Then I asked her to just relax a little bit. Talk to me with your eyes, flirt a little bit. And she kind of, fine. And that was the shot.
Wow.
That was literally the shot. And it's an up close, tight, very tight, intimate headshot, if you will, that it speaks to no one but us. But when you come into my home as a professional photographer, you expect to see my imagery lined all over the walls. There's some of that, but what I'm most proud of is my personal imagery. And if I take such care in crafting my personal images, the professional work speaks for itself.
Okay, your daughter.
My daughter, Lily, hers was in the same vein, she had her hat on. So Lily at that point was giving a little bit of attitude, a little bit of, I don't really want to do this, but Dad, you asked me to. And just a smile, a hint of a smile, and it was more of an inner confidence that was coming out of her. I think she was probably 12, almost 13, and just starting to come out of that little 13-year-old, 12-year-old borderline. I've got that now committed to eternity on my wall.
Your son.
My son's portrait is one of my favorites. I'm a huge Formula One fan as well as a Formula One photographer. The first time I got to take him to a race with me was an ordeal all by itself, getting him there. We had cross-country practice in the morning on that Friday. I drove him to cross-country practice at 5 a.m., drove to Austin for the first round of the Formula One practice sessions, then drove to Waco to meet my wife to pick up my son to make it back to practice session 2. We got to the track, and I gave him a camera. He was comfortable enough that I can just give you one of Dad's big cameras. I gave him a camera, and we went to the spot in the stands, and he's looking around, taking it all in. I looked at him, aimed my camera. He's looking through his camera. He's looking at me. I'm looking at him. In the lens, you can see me smile, but I see him where I wanted him. That's it.
And finally, your youngest daughter, I guess.
My youngest daughter, Alexis. I had this picture in my head for her and all of her soccer buddies, but she was going to be the first face that I photographed. I got her a winter coat with the little fur on the hood, and so she's in this coat. Mind you, it's probably May in Texas, and she's not having it. We're in the garage, and so trooper, gorgeous little trooper, and it's a nice tight headshot with the hood, the fur being the frame, and her little face is captured as Daddy's little girl kind of thing. Done.
I love it, and I love how your voice even kind of trembles a little when you talk about this. Clearly, your family is so important to you.
My family's important, but it's what I also do. That's my secret weapon. I fancy myself as kind of a superhero, but my superpower is bringing my emotion, my power, my energy out of my client, my sitter. Therefore, when they trust me, my product is more important for them to produce to the rest of the world.
I can see why you are so wildly successful. We're going to have to wrap this up before we both get in tears.
Yeah.
If you need to get a hold of Chris, let's end with his website, which is chrisbaylor.com. Thank you so much for the gift that you're giving the planet every time you snap your lens.
I do my best. Thank you very much for having me.
You bet. That's it for now. We'll see you next time.